Hey there, speculators. It is Rod, your Futures Fanatic. Welcome back to Futures Fanatic, part of TDG, the Traders Dev Group. That's financial education for active futures traders and for self-directed investors. But what are we looking at Voyager here? I've talked about Voyager before. Tonight I'm going to talk a little bit about something I don't do that often, which is specific names and specific companies. Here at Futures Fanatic, we mostly focus just on financial education broadly around the futures markets, and we're always trading the same things every day. So I'm not all about this hot stock or that hot stock or this alt crypto you might want to look at. But given the recent events that are happening in the broader stock market and also how that's going to probably creep over into the crypto market, I did want to talk about specifically a company stock, and a particular altcoin tonight. That's what I'll be doing right after these messages. Okay, great. So if you are not familiar with crypto brokers or exchanges at all, I'm mostly going to focus here on the US, okay? And also within the United States, there are unfortunately still some regulations where certain states actually can't use this particular exchange or app. I think New York and Hawaii currently, so that's a bit of a bummer, but you can potentially invest or take a look at the stock, which I'll mention just a bit. So if you're not familiar with some of these names, the biggest Mac Daddy of them all is probably Coinbase right here. There's also Kraken. There's Binance US. Binance is the largest crypto exchange, and they do have a US subsidiary. And then, of course, there's the much controversial now Robinhood. Robinhood also allows you to buy certain cryptos, but not very many. For what it's worth, if you're buying Bitcoin or Ethereum or anything, of course they include Dogecoin over here, which is this highly speculative kind of piece of crap altcoin. If you do anything at Robinhood, you're actually not even owning the crypto. They're taking advantage of the fact the SEC still doesn't have regulations around crypto exchanges. They don't even have an exchange or exchange relationship. They're just creating some derivatives, so you don't really own it. You might not care if that's the case. You're just speculating on it anyway. And for most of us, we're just keeping our tokens on the exchange. I won't get into any of that tonight. What I wanted to talk about tonight was actually Voyager. Okay, I've been mentioning this on Futures Fanatic, which used to be called Futures on Fire here for quite a while. And I use or have accounts at all of the firms I just mentioned, including KuCoin and a number of others, to trade certain altcoins. I've been investing in crypto off and on since about 2015 and have been fortunate to catch this big run. But by far, my biggest success in the altcoins, much bigger returns than we've seen from any of the large coins, of course, the Mac Daddy of them all being Bitcoin, was when I simply took a Peter Lynch approach to this marketplace. If you're not familiar with Peter Lynch, he was a very famous mutual fund manager that worked for Fidelity that simply said invest in what you know or products that you like or use. He had some famous stories about seeing, various shoes or purses in his wife's closet and asking what brands those were from, and doing very well by just simply investing in things that he saw around his household or products that he liked. That is the exact approach I took here with Voyager. I got tired of the very high fees from Coinbase, and I didn't like their application early on, and when I first found my way over to Voyager, I liked it quite a bit. Now, this video is not to sort of sell you on using this app. All the ones I just mentioned are fine. If you do want to check the description below, you can find a link to where you can get, I don't remember what it is, maybe $25 or $50 in Bitcoin. Yes, I'll get a little VIG for that as well, but I really do like this app. And tonight, it's not necessarily about the app, it's about the stock itself and this tracking token that you don't hear anything about. So here is Voyager. You can just look up Voyager app stock on Google, and you'll see that yes, there are some as of the time I'm making this video, they've had some outages, they've had some issues like a lot of other exchanges as well. It doesn't even have the highest star rating in the App Store, to be honest with you. I think it's the best app I've used, but other people have other opinions. But what you can do is come over here and take a look at the actual stock, okay, because it's publicly traded right now on the Toronto Stock Exchange. There's also an over-the-counter version. Now, again, today I don't recommend or say to buy any particular stocks. I'm just trying to bring your awareness to it. Remember, everything here on Futures Fanatic is for educational purposes. Make sure that you watch that intro where we tell you a little bit about why this is for financial education, and that I'm not a financial advisor, and that you shouldn't eat yellow snow, and you should look both ways before crossing the street, and check with your financial advisor if those even exist anymore. All that being said, I have invested a good amount of my IRA portfolio in this company, in the actual company, Voyager Digital, which is the exchange that owns the Voyager app that I use and trade on for my cryptos. Now, this thing is run. You can take a look at it. I'm going to bring it up over here. Okay, the symbol is VYGVF, all right? And just like we use technical analysis to decide when to enter our futures markets, this is a 1 hour chart with the 233 EMA, our trend line right here. So I will be a buyer on pullbacks to about 450. I hope we get this opportunity. Now, if you've been following this market at all, and the hot IPO market in general, Coinbase, which is the largest exchange in the US, just behind Binance, I think it's the second largest crypto exchange in overall, is going to go public sometime this year, take advantage of the hot cycle that we have going on in crypto. I believe the valuations I've seen there are somewhere between 6 billion, 12 billion. But if this market holds up and we see anything like, I mean, gosh, if DoorDash is worth what it's worth right now, what is Coinbase going to be worth, especially when there's a hype cycle and a bull market going on in crypto? So Coinbase, let's say 10 billion, 20 billion, I don't know. And of course, it's infinitely larger than Voyager over here. But to give you an example, the Voyager is currently only, where's the market cap on here? Does it have market cap? Yeah. The market cap now is about 729 million. That's laughable in these day and age in terms of market cap, okay? When Coinbase goes public, I believe that things like Voyager are going to have very, very, very big pops, and they're underappreciated, okay? So we combine the fact that I'm just doing the Peter Lynch. I like the app. I use it. I think there's a catalyst in the fact that we're going to have the largest well-known exchange out there, competitor to this, go public. I think that the people will eventually find their way to Voyager over here. And again, you can buy it on OTC, or you can look at, you can buy it via, I can't even actually buy it at Interactive Brokers. I had to use my Thinkorswim account because, of course, TD Ameritrade, now part of Schwab, has a lot of history in being able to trade Canadian stocks because they're a Canadian company. All right, so here's the symbol right here. Like anything else, pop a crypto or a stock or anything on your 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour, put on a 233. Let's actually switch to a 4 hour right here. And if we switch to a 4 hour, then you're going to see that the pullback needs to come down here to their T line about $2.50. Okay, that's a big retracement. And full disclosure, I own it for much, much, much lower prices, but I've continued to add to it. All right, so that's it on the actual stock. The app is called Voyager. If you want to use the Voyager app to actually get you access to the most crypto that I've seen outside of Binance in terms of a lot of alt tokens, and of course Ether and the big Mac Daddy Bitcoin, you can do so on Voyager. Check the description below. And while you're headed down to look at the description, if you're doing that, you might want to hit the subscribe, hit the little bell notification to be notified of when we're broadcasting. And most importantly, if you like this kind of content, and this is a little different than the typical video we'll do here at Futures Fanatic, hit the little like button. It really does help us grow our channel. And again, trying to do something a little bit different here than just blabbing about how much money you can or we made or somebody else made or things like that. Nothing wrong with that. Our content's just going to be a little different. All right, so that is that. Now, the next thing is that Voyager has its own tracking token, all right? And over here on TradingView, by the way, this is TradingView. If you don't know TradingView, just go to tradingview.com. It's one of the best free places that you can track all of the crypto prices, and that's completely free. You can even do that with a free account. You can track all these various cryptos. They probably are the best resource that exists to track all of these altcoins and every single crypto, okay? Now, this is weird because it's a little bizarre. The symbol here is BQXUSD, and this is the tracking Voyager token for the Voyager app. On Voyager, this token is called VGX. Okay, it's called VGX. If you have the actual, in fact, I probably should do this. I didn't plan, could do a better job. Hold on, I'm going to come over. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pause the video. All right, and through the miracle of quick editing, I brought up Voyager over here. By the way, really quickly, you can see how many. Hopefully, that's going to scroll there. Oh, there's a little delay. You can see how many tokens that they offer here. Lots of selection. And here is this token here. It's called VGX right here. Okay, it's VGX. Now, here's the saddest part of this whole story, which is I still am very fortunate to have a lot of Voyager stock, but I have zero VGX. zero VGX. You can see that ramp there, okay? At one point I had over 100,000 tokens. So I'm done with the YOLO or the FOMO or anything else. I exited almost all of my position at about $1. I thought moving from about 16 cents to $1 was a pretty good return. I'll take it all day long. But here's what's going on with this Voyager token. All right, so it's VGX over on, now interesting, look at the market cap is 540 million. So the market cap of their token inside of is about almost 80% of the market cap of the entire company. Now here's what's interesting, and here's why I actually sold all of my VGX on the route. Ooh, there's Dodger. Okay, let's move this out of the way. The reason I sold was, first of all, it was 1,000% return. It was great. Second of all, they weren't showing the market cap for a little while, and they never even said exactly what this thing is, other than like a glorified rewards program for anyone who uses VGX. That's why I bought it. It was like, I got into Voyager. It's like, oh, I like the app. I like the commissions. I like the spread. I like the choice. And I knew some of the management from past days. So I'm like, I'm going to do the Peter Lynch thing and just buy this company, use the app, which I'm already using, and then buy the token that's going to give me some kind of rewards. To this day, I've never gotten a reward for any of the shares that I owned. I never staked it. And they still haven't even published, to my knowledge, what you get when you own VGX in terms of reduced commissions or benefits in using the app. But someone might be ahead of that, or potentially it's being confused with something else. Because here's the interesting thing. It's only available or being known to people that use the Voyager app, which is a very, very, very small amount of people right now. You could be one of them if you click the description below and decide that you want to start trading a little bit of crypto using the Voyager app. So the fact that it has gone up 2,000-3,000% or more, and at one point, this is a proper print here, gang. It came up here at about $5. It did some prints at $5, $4.45. So I'm no longer in this, but you can bet your sweet crypto that at $1 down here, I'm going to be involved again. I need a really deep pullback. I'm going to use the same methodology that we use when you trade the futures markets. We use our T-line. I like to use 1 hour, 2 hour, and 4 hour if I'm doing more investing or swing trading or things like that. All right, I think that's I've rattled off enough. So the basic gist here is, if you're interested in getting into crypto and you want to know one of the exchanges that I like for whatever that's worth, again, there are plenty of others: Robinhood, Coinbase, Kraken, Binance US. Please leave a description, a comment below if you have found another one that you really like. Again, I'm here in the U.S., so I'm focused mostly on things that are accessible to U.S. citizens. If you're outside the U.S., you have a lot more choice. Voyager, the app, is a publicly traded company. We already went through that. Here's the symbol right here. I believe there's a play in this as well. Yes, it's run a lot. It's it in and of itself is up really, really significantly this year. I mean, if you go back to 5 years, something like that, you can see it was, you couldn't even register what it was. It was trading at 20, 30 cents for a while, popped up to 70, and you can see it's had this big ramp. So is this the stock of GameStop, or is it VGX? No. We've seen a lot of crazy ramps going on. Okay, I think I've covered most everything. And yes, unfortunately, if you're in New York or Hawaii, a couple other places, you cannot necessarily download and use the Voyager as an app to buy crypto, but you can, of course, I think, be able to look at the actual company if you're interested. Coinbase going public very soon. When that happens, I think it's going to inflate all of these. And as far as I know, this is the only really play. Kraken's not public. KuCoin's not public. Robinhood is not public yet, and of course it has its problems recently. If you're watching this video kind of in the early part of 2021, Robinhood has definitely had some issues again in terms of their reputation and their clearing and their overall brokerage operations. Okay, thanks again for all the hundreds of subscribers that we've added recently. Very excited to see this channel grow. My name is Rod with Futures Fanatic, reminding you to stay green and trade like you mean it. We'll see you at the next video.